Once upon a time, in a little seaside village nestled between cliffs and the endless blue ocean, lived a tiny kitten named Finnegan, or Finny for short. Now Finny was no ordinary kitten. Oh no. She had a spirit of adventure that burned brighter than 1,000 suns and a heart as big as the ocean itself. One day, a terrible storm brewed over the horizon, whipping the sea into a frenzy and sending huge waves crashing towards the shore. Little Finny, being the curious kitten that she was, wanted to explore. Despite the raging storm, she ventured out to the beach, chasing a ball that had been blown away by the wind. Suddenly, a giant wave crashed towards her, knocking her off her feet and pulling her into the churning water. The strong current was pulling her further and further away from the shore. She struggled and kicked, but the waves kept crashing over her, making it hard for her to breathe. Just when she thought she couldn't swim anymore, a group of colorful fish surrounded her. They created a circle, shielding her with their bodies, and slowly began to push her towards the surface. As she reached the top of the water, gasping for air, she saw a beautiful underwater kingdom, sparkling coral castles, strange yet beautiful fish, and most amazingly of all, a group of mermaids with shimmering tails were waving at her to come closer. Cautiously, Finny swam towards them, still frightened from her ordeal. The mermaids, noticing her fear, calmed her down, assuring her that she was safe with them. They took her to the Great Mermaid, the leader of the tribe, who, after hearing Finny's tale, declared that since she had shown such bravery, she deserved a pair of fins. With these fins, Finny could explore the ocean, but she couldn't keep them unless she helped the mermaids with a task. See, there was an enormous sea monster that lived in the deepest part of the ocean. It had been dormant for many years, but recently it had started to stir, causing earthquakes and whirlpools that threatened to destroy the beautiful coral reef. The mermaids were too afraid to confront the beast, so they asked Finny if she would do it for them. Overcoming her fear, Finny accepted the quest, knowing that if the sea monster woke up, the whole ocean would be in danger. The Great Mermaid gave Finny a magical seashell that would light up the darkest depths and protect her from the monster's wrath. Taking a deep breath, Finny plunged into the dark, murky water. The descent was long and scary. As she went deeper, the water grew colder and darker. Suddenly, the magical seashell in her paw started to glow brightly, illuminating a huge cavern. In the middle of the cavern was a massive egg, and from inside it, Finny could feel the monster stirring. Taking a step closer, she saw cracks forming on the egg, and from those cracks, sharp, nasty teeth started to emerge. The sea monster was waking up. Startled, Finny quickly retreated, realizing that if the monster came out, the entire ocean would be in chaos. But then she remembered what the Great Mermaid had told her. If she could distract the monster, the vibrations from its anger might crack the egg, releasing a swarm of tiny, harmless fish that would eventually grow up and repopulate the ocean. Gathering all her courage, Finny swam back into the cavern. As the monster lunged towards her, she darted around it, narrowly escaping its snapping jaws. She knew that she couldn't outrun it forever, so she had to make the first move. Taking a deep breath, she swam as close as she could and whacked the monster's snout with her seashell, creating a loud, sharp sound. The monster roared in anger, causing the already weakened egg to crack more. From the new opening, a bunch of tiny fish swam out and hid behind Finny. The monster, enraged by the pain and the appearance of more tiny fish, lunged towards Finny, who dodged just in time. This continued for a while, the monster attacking and Finny defending herself and the little fish until finally, with one last mighty crack, the egg broke apart, releasing hundreds of tiny fish into the water. The monster, defeated and exhausted, fell back, allowing Finny to swim out of the cavern and back to the safety of the coral reef. When the other mermaids heard the commotion, they rushed to help. Together, they herded the tiny fish into a protected cove, ensuring their safety. Once the danger had passed, the mermaids, along with Finny, celebrated with a magnificent feast. From that day on, Finny became one of the mermaids, helping to protect the ocean and its inhabitants. And although she missed her home and her old life sometimes, she knew that she belonged in the sea with her new family.